Pleased right now to be joined by one of our heroes on Best Defense, one of the best criminal defense attorneys in the country. You know his name, you know his face. Yale Galanter joins us now live. And Yale, it's terrific to have you here. I know it's a busy day, and I gotta say, that judge is tough, Judge Glass. I was stressed out at the end of that very short 10-minute hearing. And I'm not even involved in this case. She really is focused on no continuances, she said, no delay. And she accomplished a lot. Give us a sense of just what went on. What just happened, Yale, in that courtroom?
Well, I don't like to use the word tough. I think efficient is the best way to describe Judge Glass, Jamie. And, you know, we're on a track. We've all promised the judge that this is going to happen on September the 8th. That's why she's scheduling these monthly status conferences. Obviously, there's a lot of work that's being done behind the scenes, and what the judge is doing when she comes out and she says what's happening with this and what's happening with that, she's really making sure that all the lawyers are staying focused on, you know, what's going on to make sure that we're all ready on September the 8th.
Well, I got to tell you, Yale, as a woman, I use that word tough only with great admiration for this judge. And you know, she was a journalist for a time, so a couple of things.
She was a reporter, and you know, listen, it really, she's the perfect judge for this case, because it does take someone who can keep everybody in line, keep it on track, and keep it efficient and keep it moving. There are a lot of issues. I mean, you know, every day there's so many things that are happening outside of the case.
Right, and I want to ask you about some of that, because I think she understands the way to really tamp down on excessive publicity is to really be efficient, focused, and keep it moving. But we know as criminal defense attorneys that prosecutors don't always play fair. You got to fight for your discovery, and that's what some of the issues were today, discovery. How's it going behind the scenes? Is there a full and fair disclosure by the folks who would prosecute your client, O.J. Simpson?
Well, I'm going to reiterate what I've said at a couple of press conferences. I have an extremely cordial, professional relationship with Mr. Owens and Mr. Rogers. 2 weeks ago, I was in their office. I was in Chris's office and you know, looked through all of his files. You know, they have this open file discovery in Nevada, and, you know, I have found Chris and David to be completely professional, completely above board. As a matter of fact, when Chris is expecting something, he'll call me, he'll say, Yale, I'm expecting a report, I didn't have it before, and I'll get it to you as soon as I have it. So I haven't found there's any surreptitious behavior on the part of David or Chris. And, you know, it's a pleasure in this type of case to have adversaries who are such professional and good lawyers.
Yeah, and that's terrific to hear, because it's not always the case in other jurisdictions. But given all of that, your good, cordial relationship with Roger and Owens, and David Rogers' reputation as a fair-minded prosecutor who really is interested in justice, I'm surprised, Yale, that this thing's still on the books. I'm surprised this hasn't gone away. I'm surprised that we're going to trial.
You know, I knew you were going to ask me that question. You know,
I ask you that question every time I see you, Yale Galanter.
Good lawyers can see the same set of facts and give them different meanings and different interpretations. Obviously, Gabe and I feel very strongly that O.J. did not commit any crimes. Chris and David have looked at this and have a different opinion. They think that there was force used to recover property, and they think that under Nevada law, you know, certain violations of the criminal statutes were had. We disagree on that, and hopefully we can get 12 people who are fair-minded, who can leave their prejudices and opinions outside the courtroom and make a determination of what the citizens believe occurred and apply the law and come up with a fair and just decision.
But there is one thing, Yale, that almost everyone agrees on, even the many people in America who seem to make a living hating your client, O.J. Simpson. Everyone seems to agree that if O.J. had not been in that room, we would not be here today, that this seems to be a selective prosecution of sorts, and that really it's a silly case that should just go away.
Well, obviously, as O.J.'s lead defense lawyer, I do believe it's a silly case. I do not believe O.J. committed any legal violations, and I certainly don't think he should have ever been prosecuted. Now, that being said, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that David and Chris have singled out O.J. Simpson, because I really do believe that they believe that there's a good faith basis for this prosecution. And I can't fault them for that.
Okay, now I understand, Yale, you're kind enough to stay with us. Your colleague Gabe Grosso will not be able to join us, but Yale, as busy as you are, you've agreed to stay with us. So we're going to take a very quick commercial break. We're going to have lots more with Yale Galanter. I'm going to ask him some tough questions. Don't worry, and they're coming up right after this.